Which is better for face volume and lifting, vampire blood injections or hyaluronic acid injections?
Thank you for your question. You submitted a question without a photo, but your question is actually very straightforward. You're asking, what is better for facial volume, vampire blood lifting or hyaluronic acid injections? Well, I can certainly share with you how I answer this question almost every day in our practice. A little bit of background: I'm a board-certified cosmetic surgeon and fellowship-trained oculofacial plastic and reconstructive surgeon. I've been in practice in Manhattan and Long Island for over 20 years. I've actually been a very vocal member of the Vampire Facelift network of doctors and have been called upon numerous times as a resource for media in answering this type of question. So to begin with, I think it's a very straightforward question, because if you want volume, then think about where you want volume. And that can also give you an understanding as to how the mechanisms of the vampire procedure, which essentially, when people say the vampire procedure, they mean essentially PRP. But there actually is a very strict definition of the vampire facelift. The vampire facelift was created by Dr. Charles Runnels, who came up with this idea of trying to get the best of all worlds by combining the skin boosting effect of PRP, or platelet-rich plasma, with the volume correction effect of a single syringe of a hyaluronic acid filler, such as Restylane or Juvederm. So when we demonstrate the vampire facelift procedure, we usually begin with the hyaluronic acid filler at very limited strategic places, such as the tail of the eyebrow, the tear trough area, the cheeks, the lips, the nasolabial folds, but it's limited to one single syringe. And so PRP, or platelet-rich plasma, will provide a volumizing effect. And the reason why he referred to it as the facelift, when a surgeon like myself thinks of facelift, we think of vertical repositioning of sagging tissue. When it came from an aesthetic physician's perspective, such as his, it meant lifting the skin away from the bone structure, which is consistent with what happens with facial aging. So it meant improving the softness and quality of the skin. But if you want specific volume, for example, when we do a procedure called structural volumizing, and in a way it does mimic the effects of a facelift by addressing the structural elements of facial aging. So by placing hyaluronic acid filler, such as Juvederm Ultra Plus or Juvederm Voluma, at the cheekbone level, at the jawline, in the chin, the jaw angle, we get much more volume correction, and that you could not really accomplish that with PRP. PRP is not going to give you that type of result. Now, PRP can be manipulated to a degree and by creating something called platelet-rich fibrin matrix, which has a little bit more viscosity, but it's not going to behave the same way as a hyaluronic acid filler. A lot of times when people come for volume correction, they also want to improve their lips. Same thing. Hyaluronic acid filler has a much more reliable volumizing effect. PRP, I explain to my patients, is more about a stimulatory effect on the skin. If you are dealing with, let's say, wrinkles, fine lines and wrinkles, acne scars, sun-damaged skin, then it is something that stimulates your body's natural collagen repair mechanisms to build collagen and improve more of a global health and quality of the skin. And I often compare it to exercise. You treat, you observe, and then you treat again. So if you do it with some consistency, you'll get the nice benefits. But it's depending on your body's ability to generate very limited amounts of volume. While in HA filler, hyaluronic acid filler, you get the immediacy of the correction. And then, of course, you do have to come back for repeat treatments, but there are different time frames depending on the area and the material being used. So I hope that was helpful. I wish you the best of luck. Thank you for your question.